UBC Radio Network, your national preferred choice. We broadcast all over Uganda and beyond. Join us on 98 FM in Kampala, 99.4 FM Lira, and 97.4 FM Arua. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
Fame, influence and status speak louder than just words, but command. It's why UBC Radio brings to you the VIP radio show every Sunday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda. Welcome to the VIP radio show, broadcasting straight from here on UBC Radio. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
You are once again welcome to VIP radio program on UBC Radio, and I am Henry Baguma, Hilary Katureve, Habati Kigundu, to take you to the next level. In our special program, VIP radio program, this weekend we go beyond borders and have senior officers who cross Ugandan borders going to give us information. And among them is the lead guest here, is French ambassador to Uganda, is with us. We may go very briefly to some other person, but our guest here is Ambassador of France to Uganda. And to avoid the mistake, Madam, welcome. This is UBC Radio. It's a government program that comes your way every weekend around this time, whereby we discuss national issues or issues of national interest. And this time around, we're going to focus on a country called France. And to avoid the mistake, Madam, I'd like to give you a chance to introduce yourself.
So I'm called Virginie Leroy, and it's a great pleasure for me to serve as France ambassador to Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Okay. And Uganda is not new to me. Before taking this position last September, I also served here as country director of the French Development Agency from 2014 to 2019. So coming back feels a little bit coming home.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to us about your name specifically, because some people are hearing for the first time, and Ugandans are not understanding everything at once. Who are you exactly?
So I am Virginie Leroy, and I am the French ambassador to Uganda.
Okay. So, specifically, let's understand the person we are hosting this time around. What's the role of ambassador? What's your main role in Uganda? When did you first come to Uganda, and what sort of experience can you share with us?
So I first came in Uganda in 2014 as the country director for the French Development Agency, AFD. And at that time, I was deeply involved in international cooperation development in Uganda for 5 years.
Okay. So I understand Virginie Leroy is your name. What is that? Does it have any English version of this? What does it mean, for example?
So if I have to translate it in English, it would mean Virginia and Leroy. Leroy is quite a famous name in France. It used to go back to Saint Louis for the French people who would do the croisade to Jerusalem, as Saint Louis did. And when they would manage to go to Jerusalem and then come back to France, they were given this nickname of Leroy, like the king, like Saint Louis King. So there are many Leroy in France.
Okay. How do they greet in France, in French? Is it French or France? Okay, how do they greet? For example, how do you say, hello, Mr. Baguma, welcome, I'm so and so, I'm glad to meet you.
Bonjour, Monsieur Baguma, comment allez-vous?
Okay. And how do I reply?
Je vais bien, merci.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Madam, for that brief introduction. Maybe before I go to serious matter right now, I still want to understand your understanding of Uganda? You say you have been here before you became an ambassador. What sort of experience can you share with us? The 0 day you landed into Entebbe up to now.
Uganda is a tremendous country with a tremendous energy. I can see when I returned in September 2025, 6 years later, that it has moved as a very huge pace, in fact. It's about rapid urbanization, it's about the ambition and the energy of the youth. It's about a lively entrepreneurship environment. It's about people coming to me. Also, I felt privileged to come back to Uganda and warmly welcomed as a friend to Uganda, because I came twice, and the signal my second time was taken was that I decided to come back. I felt like to come back. You know, the first time you come, you may come a little bit by, not accident, but because you are designated to go to a country. When you return, it's another story, in fact. Is you wish to come back to a country that you left 6 years ago. And this is exactly what happened to me.
So what was in your mind as you're flying into Uganda for your first time? When they say, right now you are posted to Uganda, okay, tomorrow I will have to dress up and to Entebbe. What was in your mind as you are flying, and when you landed at Entebbe airport? Give us your experience on your first earliest days.
I was happy to come back to reconnect with some friends, because I left some friends in 2019 when I left. I was happy to come back to see the progress along the different projects I've been involved as the head of the French Development Agency at that time. I was happy to come back as the French ambassador, and it's a privilege to represent my country and to be asked to deepen the friendship between the Ugandans and the French people.
Okay. Your first assignment in Uganda, what exactly were you involved in, and how was it? What memories do you leave behind in your first assignment in Uganda as French Development Agency in Uganda?
So when I was the country director, AFD was deeply involved in financing the water sector, meaning deepening the access of Ugandans to safe drinking water. On that journey, I worked quite a lot with National Water and Sewage Corporation on the Katosi program, for example, where I launched together with President Museveni, the breaking stone, which was the beginning of the construction of the Katosi water treatment plant. Another example, I was involved in the discussion on the Great Western project on the water facility, involving National Water to bring more water to Masaka City and Mbarara City. And coming back, I was there last week, and I will tell you later. What has been done there since I left is amazing. So I was happy to come back and see the progress along the project I was running and participating in at that time. Of course, as an ambassador, the job is different. You are there, of course, to promote, to celebrate, but also sometimes to discuss more difficult topics. And I am honored and I feel privileged to have this responsibility to facilitate the dialogue, to find solution when there is some difficulty, and to move forward and to find solution to move forward.
Okay. So you have lived in Uganda as a happy citizen, as a happy person.
Yes, I do.
What inspires you about Uganda generally?
I even raised my two boys here. When I came in, they were 9 and 11, and when we left, they were 15 and 18 years old.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam, for that background. Now, also give us an update regarding France, a country known or called France. What can you tell Ugandans about France, and what is France popularly known for, both in French, in Africa, and globally?
So France is often associated with Paris, with the gastronomy, with the fashion, or the Eiffel Tower, and of course we are proud of that heritage. But today France is also a country of innovation, science, technology, entrepreneurship and creativity. And we are home to the world's leading companies in sectors like renewable energy, transport, aerospace, health, digital technologies, agriculture. And we are also deeply committed to education, culture and international cooperation. We strongly believe in long-term partnership with deep-rooted partnership, meaning that those partnerships are based on mutual respect, shared interest and long-term commitment. And this is exactly the spirit of what we are building right now for the past 60 years with Uganda.
So you talk about technology. Yes, many people think those countries are so advanced. Compare French development and African in Uganda in general in terms of science and technology.
I mean, it's the comparison. It's quite difficult. You know, East Africa is probably one of the most connected and most digitalized society. When you come to Uganda and see, I mean, all the Momo and all the MTN payments, this system have been put in place in East Africa before they were used in France, for example. So this is a very contrast situation. I would say that, and this is what France is supporting, I mean, the training in engineering, the training in the digital sector is really key, because this is where, and especially when you look at Uganda is doing well in that. We have many examples from our French companies hiring Ugandan staff, Ugandan engineers, and they are very good trained. They are very good. They do have very good skills. In fact, they do, and they have big responsibilities in the French companies. At the French government, we support some internship for students traveling to France, and we love. And for example, we have 3 examples right now of 2 students moving to engineering studies in France. One is going to be on minerals, and one is going to work on health medical engineering. We strongly believe that engineering is a good sector and will provide, I mean, the skills that the Ugandan economy will need for the further years.
I know you don't have your documents right now here. We're having a casual discussion, but also briefly we want to Ugandan to understand what sort of institutions or companies or, I don't know, colleges, whatever, French institutions that are currently operating in Uganda, the few you have in memory.
You mean the companies?
Companies, institutions and organizations, yes.
Okay, companies, I mean, there is a French Chamber of Commerce that is going to celebrate 2 years in Uganda. Right now, more than 40 French companies are very active in this Chamber of Commerce, together with 40 Ugandan companies. They do share, I mean, experience in the energy sector, in the water, in the transport, in the health sector, in the hospitality sector. For example, I can talk about Total. Of course, everyone knows Total. Total is involved in the oil development project in the Albertine region. building all the facilities for the Ugandan government to benefit of the oil reserve, together with the ECOP, which is the pipeline that will manage for Ugandan to export the oil. So this is one of the example. Another example is about AGS, for example. AGS is a moving company that works about moving goods, but also more and more to digitalize the papers and all the stuff Ugandan companies need to keep safe. Let's get another example with Newrest. Newrest is a company based in Entebbe and is in charge of all the catering in the Ugandan Airlines and all the flying companies, in fact, landing and taking off from Entebbe.
Okay. So whenever you engage them, when you meet them in one-on-one, what are the issues you normally discuss, you as their ambassador?
I'm there to support, in fact, their business development, and I'm very proud to see that those companies are delivering good services, high-quality services, doing their best to create local jobs for Ugandan, training their staff, meaning bringing new skills for the Ugandan to benefit from their employer, and on top of that, I mean, what I am very happy, and this is the spirit of the French Chamber of Commerce, is to develop, in fact, relationship between the French companies and the Ugandan companies, so that both of them can benefit from their association, because, of course, French company creates more opportunities for Ugandan companies as well when they invest.
Thank you very much, Madam. How would you describe the Uganda-France relations as we speak now? Uganda versus France relations.
I would say trust, ambition, and partnership. If I have to come back on trust, the French and the Ugandan are partnering for more than 60 years. It's not nothing. I mean, 6 decades where we lived together, when we discussed together, when we cooperated together. It's a long-term partnership. Ambition, because through the years, I must say that the partnership went deeper, went greater, went wider. Now we've come with a portfolio, for example, of the French Development Agency of more than 1.2 billion euros. And when I look at the French companies, they invested more than $4.2 billion between 2024 and 2026, which is massive, because when you look at that, France ranks number 2 in terms of bilateral investor in Uganda. And partnership, to me, is the spirit of the cooperation. We are not there, I mean, to work on short term. We are there to build trust, to build long-term partnership, to build long-lasting opportunities and long-lasting impact for the Ugandans in their daily life. You know, investing in water, investing in water distribution network, investing in renewable energy production, investing in connectivity, investing on quality services, investing in supporting entrepreneurs. I mean, this is impact. This is what do we want? Produce impact and transform the lives of Ugandans.
How would you... Okay, that's good. Would you say Uganda versus France, they are very, very strong partners, or maybe brothers and sisters. Maybe that could be a better word.
Yes, and it's not only, you're right, brothers and sisters, and it's not only between governments. It's between companies, Ugandan companies and French companies. It's between universities. It's between artists. It's between pupils at school. When you go to the French International School of Kampala, 30% of the pupils are Ugandans, meaning that they play together, they grow together, they learn from each other together. And this is exactly what we would like to build, in fact, a friendship where we better understand each other. And from this better understanding, then through the trust we built, we can move forward and bring the best solution for the shared challenges that we have to face. And when I come to the shared challenges, I mean, we have to face the question of bringing opportunities for the youth in terms of jobs, in terms of skills development. We have to face challenges looking at climate change. I mean, it's true that in the agriculture sector, I mean, farmers are more and more shaken by the impact of climate change, the drought, and then heavy rain, the rainfall patterns that are not coming at the right time. When you look at the energy sector and especially UEGCL with the hydroelectric dams, they do have to deal with the water level and how do we deal with the Lake Victoria, where the level of the water is moving up, has moved up by 1 meter, bringing some challenges in Chiranalubale, for example, hydro dam on the Nile River, bringing some challenges for the people living on the lake shores. So these are the kind of challenges where we are partnering and where we are bringing technical and financial solution to ease the process.
Okay, let's look at another very interesting sector that create visitors or welcome visitors. This is tourism. Are Ugandans interested in French activities, France development, and other things? Are French people interested in Ugandan activities? Let's look at the tourism sector. First of all, let's start with you yourself, your experience in Uganda. When you came to Uganda for now some years, up to now, what are the areas you enjoy seeing? Which are the areas you like visiting? And give us your own personal experience and comment about tourism. New things to you.
But Uganda is a wonderful country. I mean, a beautiful country. I had the chance to live here, as I said, between 2014 to 2019, where I had the opportunity to go to Mburo, to Kisoro, to Bunyoni, to Fort Portal, to Queen Elizabeth, to Kibale Forest, to Murchison Falls, to Jinja, of course, to Mount Elgon. And after 5 years, I didn't find the time to go and to Bwindi to see the gorilla. But after 5 years, I failed to go deeper in the country. So when you asked me the question, was I happy to come back? Yes, I was happy to come back. Also, to go deeper in the country and to go to Kidepo, to go to Gulu, to go to Kitgum, to go to Arua and the West Nile, to go to Karamoja, and really meet the people. I think Uganda is a kind of country where tourism is deep-rooted, not only in the beautiful landscape and the wildlife and the biodiversity. It's deeply rooted in the cultural, local culture. And this is what I would wish, in fact, during my stay is not only to see the beautiful landscape, but to meet with people, to really understand what is their culture and what makes it lively, what are they proud of, and this is quite close to the French way, if you allow me then now to talk about France.
Since you are the French coordinator here, you are the first contact person. Are you getting many French people coming to Uganda here, apart from business other ways, but are there those coming to visit, coming to see Uganda? I don't know. What sort of picture can you paint to us?
Yes, more and more, but not enough. Not enough French people are traveling to Uganda. And that's why I'm very happy, and I want to congratulate UTB and the French embassy and the the Ugandan embassy in France and the Ugandan ambassador to France, because a few days ago they organized a tour in Paris advertising the Ugandan destination and the Pearl of Africa. In fact, they reshaped some buses that were touring in the most, famous places in Paris. So the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, the Invalides, the Champs-Élysées, and that's good, in fact, because Uganda is not known enough from French people. And we need to do better to advertise the Ugandan destination in France.
Because, in fact, what you're doing is now, that's part of the kind of agenda right now, because you are talking about Uganda. Yes.
Yeah, but this is the job of the Ugandan embassy in Paris. So, me here, I am, in fact, promoting France as a destination. The Ugandan ambassador to Paris promotes Ugandan destination for the French, and we are partnering on that.
So that is the Ugandan side from your own personal experience. Now also give us France itself, Paris. Is it Paris or Paris? Which I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but France itself, what is the tourism attraction in France? If a Ugandan visits France, what areas should he or she not miss? What food should he or she not miss to eat? Give us a general picture as a tourism promoter for French people, for France in Uganda. Talk to Ugandans who may wish to pick interest in France.
So when you think about France, you think about, at first, Paris and the Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Élysées. And maybe, the the food, the wine, the culture, its people. So it's a mix of it. The French culture is a mix of history, it's a mix of culture, it's a mix of gastronomy, fashion, of course, as well, luxury, and art. But France is not only Paris. It's like when you travel to Uganda and then you see Kampala. The country is more diverse than the capital. And even if you go, for example, to Murchison, you cannot say that you've seen and understood Uganda. For France, it is the same, in fact. We have a very diverse, and the diversity is something that we cherish, because between people living in Alsace, for example, in the east, and Brittany in the west, in Burgundy, in the Mediterranean coast, or in the Atlantic island or seashore. The diversity is so huge in terms of landscape, in terms of food, in terms of wine, in terms of cheese, in terms of culture. And this is this diversity that makes it rich and makes it interesting. So, like the question I was asked, in your different trip in Uganda, which one did you prefer? It's impossible to respond to this question. I mean, you like the place according to what you find there, the landscape and the people and the culture. And it's like a puzzle where each piece is part of a global picture. So France is like that. It takes time to discover it. You may go to Paris. Paris is, of course, a must. Paris with Versailles and with Fontainebleau, with Chantilly. There are some castles and beautiful cities are also surrounding Paris. But it's also a way of life. You need to take your time. You need to walk in the street. You need to listen to the ambience, to enjoy the food. It's a wonderful country to visit. It's a diverse country that takes time to understand, and I wish, of course, Ugandans to have the opportunity to discover it. I mean, we deliver more and more visa. In fact, we are more and more through the consulate. We get more and more requests for visa for visiting France from Ugandans.
Also, let's talk about other areas where these days I hear health tourism or education tourism. Do you have very many Ugandans going to France for education, for health, or those type of sectors? Do we have such cases at all, for instance?
We don't have Ugandans traveling to France for healthcare. We do have Ugandan pupils and students applying for visa to study in France for education. I have some example because I met with 6 of them, in fact, over the past week. 3 of them are graduated from the French international schools. They are not French, in fact. They are international pupils who decided to move on to university in France. And I met with 3 Ugandans through Erasmus, the European Union internship program that will travel in the next days to France for to study engineering in the oil, in the mineral sector, and engineering in the health technology sector. And one also is going to study biodiversity and how biodiversity adapts to climate change. Yes, so there are many. And we have the Campus France Uganda, that welcomes students who would like to know more about the opportunity to study in France. They are based in Makerere University. They have an office there, and they receive, I think last year they met more than 200 students. Every year we organize also the job and study fair at the French International School of Uganda, where we connect the students to Campus France, of course, for the studies, but also to French company to have the opportunity for internship and jobs as well.
You are still tuned to VIP radio program. I am Henry Baguma, together with Hilary Katureve and Herbert Chigundu, take you to the next level.
You're listening to the VIP radio show on UBC Radio.
Welcome back from the break, and let's continue with the conversation. We are hosting French ambassador to Uganda. When you talk about Uganda in recent times, right now is well known for sports, for running. There is a district, an area called Karamoja, where some of the best runners in the world are coming from that Karamoja. It's very far, it's a rural area, but despite the distance, still Uganda is now raising up in terms of marathon because of those Karamojong girls and boys who win Olympic Games. So, about France also, I understand it's also one of the greatest countries in the sports world. I don't know whether you're a sports person, I don't know, but how much can you share with us about France and the sports? Right now, you're also in the World Cup participating. I don't want to go into details, of course, but I want a general picture.
Of course, I'm the supporter of the French team in this World Football Cup. They are playing well, they are playing fair, and I expect them to move along the tournament. I'm not praying because I'm really confident. Of course, I mean it's a sport, and in a sport, I mean there is a winner, and so you have to play to win. And there are still three match till the final. Let's see. I mean, all the teams have to be fair. With the jet lag, is not very easy, of course, to look at the
Madame,
tournament.
Yes. Generally, what's the most popular sport in France? Football, athletics, I don't know.
Football for sure. Cycling as well, but cycling is with the Tour de France, so cycling is mostly during July and August. And then you have rugby is doing more and more also. And as we organize the Olympic Games, I mean some sports like ping pong, I don't know how do you say it in English. Ping pong, you see, table. Tennis table.
Table tennis
became really also very popular because they were two young French, two brothers in fact, playing together, and they went till the end. What else in fact? Because the Olympic game in fact really opened the eyes of the French people on some sport they were not really used to. Judo as well was very famous during the Olympic Games, and escrime as well was really well put forward. I would say it's a very diverse. There is sport for everyone. You may not be good at football and then be good at tennis table, and it's a spirit. In fact, it's good that everyone has the possibility to play and to perform and to share. I mean the spirit of the sport game. Okay. You have to play, respect your adversary.
You yourself, what sport do you do? You don't do any apart from watching?
No, I do sport because as an ambassador I couldn't survive if I was not doing sport. I do yoga. I do swim as well because Uganda climate is does favor this kind of sport, and I do a sport that you may not believe it's a sport, but it's a kind of meditation. I mean, it's sport for the brain, just to remain focused, to breathe. And another sport I used to do in Uganda, and I would like to go on, is singing. Singing in a choir. You cannot believe, but it's a sport, in fact. The way you take the oxygen, the way you breathe, the way you share the energy with the group you're singing in, somehow is a sport as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madame, for that insight. We are discussing France, and I am Henry Baguma, Habati Chigun Hilary Katureve in this program, VIP radio program. And we want to understand beyond borders in this program. What are some of the key projects France is involved in at present?
So France is Uganda is supporting projects that make a real difference in people's life. Let me give you some examples. So through the French Development Agency, AFD Group, we've committed more than 1.2 billion euros to Uganda over the last years. The main sector is on water, safe drinking water. The objective is to give access to clean water, and you've seen some pipes development in Kampala and the greater Kampala city. You've seen Katosi of course, the Katosi water treatment plant was funded by the French government, and with European Union also money, together with EIB and KfW, and so it's about improving the capacity of providing safe drinking water and also distribute it. Last week I was in Mbarara city, and I visited the Kagera River intake. You may not know, but since last year there is a water treatment plant there that can deliver 40,000 cubic meters to increase the capacity to Mbarara city, which is a growing city in western Uganda. But this project will also deliver water to Isinjiro rural district. More than 800 villages will get a reliable source of drinking water. And in this district, the refugees in Nakivale and Oruchinga settlements will also benefit from the water supply. So this is the water sector, where we invested more than 550 million euros. The second sector, I would say, is the energy sector, where the French team is involved in the production of renewable energy. And on that, you probably saw me in Chiranalubale, on Chiranalubale Dam and hydropower plant. We committed to help with rehabilitation of this, to rehabilitate this hydro dam. The works are going to start next year, and it's very important for Uganda because Chiranalubale is the first dam on the Nile, meaning the one that provides the most reliable quality of energy in terms of stability and in terms of price. This dam helps regulating all the dams that are following, meaning even Karuma, Agago, and Bujagali Dam. So yes, this is one of the example. Another example in the energy sector, we funded the rural electrification program in more than 80 districts, connecting the most vulnerable people to the grid, but also enabling some more connection to happen, because now the lines are there. So anyone who wants to connect to the grid has the possibility to connect. I told you about water. I just talked about energy. The third sector in which we are deeply involved is how do we facilitate access to affordable financing for entrepreneurs and SMEs. And on that, the French team has provided affordable financing to Ugandan Development Bank, to Pearl Bank, to Prime Microfinance, to DFCU, to Centenary Bank. This is Housing Finance Bank as well. These are some examples. Each time, those banks are supporting SACCOs, they are supporting some microfinance and microcredit institution, so that if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a woman, if you are a young entrepreneur, investing in the green economy, investing in the agriculture, investing in the value chain, you are eligible to those financing. And of course, let me finish. We also invest in young people in terms of education, skills development, French language. We support an association which is named APFO, the Association des professeurs de français in Uganda, and the training of French teacher, so that at secondary level they can provide French lessons and French diploma as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam, for that inside story. I am hosting French ambassador to Uganda, and we are discussing issues affecting or that coordinate the two countries, that's Uganda and France, and the ambassador is giving us the side story. This is VIP radio program with me, Henry Baguma, Habati Chigundu, Hilary Katureve. Madam, let's go back briefly on education and related issues, because you said you don't get health tourists in France, but you get education tourists. That's the people who go to France for education mainly. So what opportunities does France offer to young Ugandans intending to study in France?
Okay, every year, and it's true, I mean, France is one of the world's leading destination and affordable destination for higher education. So every year we offer scholarships, we support academic exchanges, and we also encourage partnership between French and Ugandan university. As I said, in fact, France university are internationally well recognized to offer programs in engineering, in medicine, in agriculture, in business, and in the art. Increasingly, more and more programs are taught in English. And as I told you, I mean, I met just a few days ago, 3 students moving to mineral engineering, medical engineering, and studies on impact of climate change on biodiversity. Let me say that, so we have Campus France office in Makerere University, who can give more and more information to students that are willing to apply to in France to move on. We offer not a lot, let's say 10 per year scholarship for students that wants to go for master level and PhD level in France. And this year we will inaugurate a new program offering some Ugandan students to go and teach English in French schools.
That's very interesting.
So 10 of them are going. This is the first promotion. I'm going to meet with them next week. This is the first promotion where Ugandan students will be able to teach English in the French school, and by the same time, of course, learn French.
Okay, that's very interesting. So Uganda is going to study in France, but now also look at the other side around. Teaching of French language in Uganda. Also give us inside story about French learning in Uganda. Do you have institutions here? Do you have lecturers? How is the general picture you can paint to us about the learning of French in Uganda?
So in fact, the teaching French in Uganda is growing as well. For a few years, we've supported the French Association des professeurs de français, APFO, training teachers at university level, so that to reinforce, in fact, the teaching of French at secondary level, because we strongly believe that the sooner and the earlier you start learning a language, the more the easier you face to learn this language. So the French language is growing in Uganda. It could be more, of course. We are right now working at the Ugandan curriculum development center within the Ministry of Education, just to review the curricula to make sure that curricula are more adapted to the new way of learning, of course. I wish more and more French speakers, Ugandan French speakers, could get their diploma certified. You know, we have the Alliance Française de Kampala, who do the certification of the diploma. It's in Bukoto, and they also develop more and more online courses just to widen, the access to French language, and to make it possible for people not living in Kampala, meaning being not able to travel.
So let's be clear here, Madam. Are you confirming to us that you have French learning institutions in Uganda?
Yes, we do. Through the Alliance Française, this is French learning institution. This is a French Ugandan learning institution, and we have Ugandan institution that train people in the French language more and more.
How is the admission? Are people interested? Are you seeing people turning up in numbers, or it is still a slow pace?
It's growing. It's probably a question of capacity. The more the pupils will be proposed the French language at school with a trained teacher, even at primary level, the more the demand will grow. So it's a question of capacity. It's a question of training. During the Francophonie months this year, we opened the Francophonie months to other countries, because the French language does not belong to France. The French language is spoken.
Yes, I wanted to ask now, why should a Ugandan learn France? Why should the Ugandan consider learning French language in the modern world today, 2026? Why can you justify why we should learn French?
Because it's more than a foreign language. It's a language of opportunity. The French language has been spoken, and it is spoken on the 5 continents. More than 320 million people are speaking French, and the first continent of French speakers is Africa. Meaning that speaking French for a country like Uganda, who wants to develop its relationship with an economic relationship with a neighboring country, with other region in Africa, would benefit from speaking French.
Okay. 2 more important issues remaining right now, because we don't have much time, but also we understand you are about to celebrate Bastille Day, and I think this is a time also we could discuss this. First of all, what is this Bastille Day, and what so far are the arrangements for it?
Okay, the Bastille Day this year will be a little bit specific because of Ebola and the requirement of the Ministry of Health to avoid a wide crowded events. Like many embassies, and I can cite in fact the Italy, the US, the UK, we decided to not celebrate it at the French embassy. We used to have a celebration gathering more than 500 people in the garden where we are sitting right now. The Ebola requirement did not allow that. So this year we won't celebrate it physically. But I wish we can celebrate it in the spirit. because the 14th of July and the Bastille Day is something...
so it's on 14th of July?
It's on 14th of July. It's going to be next week. Okay. And by the way, there is a match, a football match on the 14th. Because the French team is going to meet the winner of the coming match between Spain and Belgium. Okay, this is something that will be on the 14th of July. But let's go back on the 14th of July if you want me. The Bastille Day is about history, but it's about living together. It's about friendship. It's about partnership. And this year in Paris, the Bastille Day will celebrate our joint responsibility to take care of our security, and jointly with our allies and our partners. The second objective is to celebrate living together with our difference, learning together from our differences, and promoting the young generation and promoting also innovation. And the third objective is to commend the courage of our armed forces who are fighting or who are making sure that there is a route for peace, there is a route for dialogue, and there is a route also for stabilization, for dialogue rather than fire. So these are the three objectives. And looking at the partnership with Uganda, it really resonates a lot. Because as the French ambassador, I strongly believe that security, economic development, and stability go together. There is no economic development without security. There is no and economic development and security contribute to stability somehow. Looking at Uganda, you know that the French military and UPDF has a long-standing cooperation in terms of training, in terms of sharing experience between militaries, between brothers, between professionals in the army, just to develop skills and be able, in fact, to have soldiers that are able to protect themselves in the battlefield and be efficient in the tasks that they are asked. So we've been supporting the UPDF in the Yuga bag for all the Yuga bag who were flying to Somalia for long. We were training, in fact, the mountain division, and it was really key for the UPDF to be able to be trained fighting and protecting themselves, in fact, in some highly environment. Right now, in fact, there is a UPDF staff trained in déminage, and he has traveled for that. There will be one also coming trained in some munition management in the next weeks. Okay. So yeah, I mean security is key, security of people, of course, but I would say when it comes to economic development, security in terms of rule of laws, in fact, and predictability for investors.
Thank you very much for being part of VIP radio program this weekend. I am Henry Baguma, Herbert Kigundu, Hilary Katureve. We've been hosting French ambassador to Uganda. You have had it all. We don't have to repeat. And we shall be back again next weekend. And until then, God bless you.
That was the VIP radio show on UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.